5 ways that you can repurpose your blog content. Now, why would you want to do this? Here's the thing. As a digital strategist, most of the times we use content repurposing so that we can be able to squeeze as much value as we can for our clients from each piece of content. So to make sure that it reaches as many people, we give it as great enough chance to bring back money as much as possible. So if that works so well for corporates, imagine what it'll do for you, someone whose core is actually to create content. Now, before we get into this, I need you to remember that it's much easier for you to repurpose content when it's evergreen. So when we're going through these points, we're going to be referring to most of the content that you've created that's evergreen content. Not to say that trending content isn't going to give you as good as a result. It's just that evergreen content is going to give you more time for you to prepare, a better chance for you to perfect and plan for your content as compared to trending content. Trending topics are just going to constantly put you under pressure for you to be able to create more and more within a short period of time. So it's always easier for you to create evergreen content. Also, evergreen content also gives you the chance to make sure that you can create what you need to and then update it here and there. You don't need to update it so frequently. And evergreen content as well gives you a better chance of stretching out your content as much as possible so that you can get that good value out of it. Now that we've gotten that baseline out of the way, let's get into it. The first way you can actually repurpose your blog content is to make video content out of it. It's one of the most easiest ways that you can do this. Now, video content, how you can do this is that once you've taken your blog content, which is evergreen, keep that in mind, it has to be evergreen. Once you take your blog content, you can make an animation of it or slides of pictures of you, pictures that you take off of stock photography, and you make a voiceover over it explaining your content or your blog post or making a comment about it or just reading it over, depending with you and your readers how you think that they're going to engage with it more. But you can do that, or you can get an animation of it done. So you can get an animation of your content, whether being scribbled, whether you get people who actually make certain people, or you get the story told however way. Or you could actually just stand in front of a camera and actually speak out your content. It's not a pain. You can actually stand in front of the camera and actually speak out your content and explain it and go in depth with it as much as you want. Or lastly, you can actually get together a group of your friends or actually interview a couple of people and have a discussion around that topic that you've actually written your blog post over. They are all great ways for you to actually create more content for you to interact with more people on different platforms. The great thing about video content is that there's numerous places where you can distribute it. You can either pick or choose or put it all over the place however you like. It all depends on where your people interact the most. So you could make video for YouTube, you can make video for Instagram, you can make video for Facebook, for TikTok, however you like, as long as you know that your people who are on that platform are going to interact with the story or the issue at hand that you're actually publishing. Secondly, you can turn your blog content into audio or a podcast. It doesn't matter whether it's 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, as long as you keep it engaging. So it's a nice way for you to get hold of a different set of listeners or a different set of people who can actually engage with your content. So it's either you sit down with it and you read it out into sort of like an audio book, or you can get to discuss the topic that you have written. Or also, like you're doing in the videos, get together your group of friends, discuss the topic, or get someone to actually interview the topic and speak it out with you. Number 3, kind of similar to doing videos, but this time you're doing it in a live stream. Now, live streams in particular, they work really, really well if your blog content is educational or how to, or towards that link. So we're talking about people who do hair and beauty, fitness, food, travel. If you have a lot of things that you have to educate on or speak and teach people on, then live streams are a great way for you to repurpose your content. So the same things that you were talking about in a blog post, you're now inviting your people to come and discuss these things on a live format. So you're now giving your people a chance to ask you questions, give you feedback, explain what you wanted to in depth, and actually probably get more feedback from your readers, more feedback from a wider reach of people, and possibly even get more ideas on what to write about next or what content to create next. So live streams are a great way for you to interact with your people, to get that value out of your content more. Number 4, you can make a PDF out of your content. So what we're saying here is that you collect similar blog posts that you've done that are in a relation. So when I mean a relation, I mean it actually has some sort of flow. For example, if you're a food blogger, then you're taking all of the blogs that you've done for desserts, for example. So you're grouping together all of these similar blogs. Or you're going to create certain meals. You're going to plan out meals from your starters, main course, dessert, drinks, the whole shebang, and you make it into a PDF that people can download off your existing blog post. So you don't need to create new content. It's your existing blog posts that you know are hits that you're now turning into a PDF. So you collect all of that information and you put it into one document. Then you hire a graphic designer to nice it up a bit and make it more appealing. If you can't afford a designer, then go back to good old Canva. It'll do good work for you to be able to design the thing out so that it works well. So you might then ask me that, Simkai, so where's the value of a PDF gonna come out? Well, it's basically gonna be in the distribution of it. And there's a couple of ways that you can actually get good value out of a PDF, but we're gonna talk about 3. Number 1, and the most standard of it, even if you don't do the other 2, this one you definitely need to do. Hyperlink everything that you put into the PDF back to your blog. So this way, whenever people download it, they still get directed back to your blog. You're still generating traffic that goes back to your blog. So say, for example, if you're a travel blogger and you write about something that's in relation to Malawi, then you then link it to another piece on your blog post that has something to do with another part of Malawi that you probably didn't put in your blog post. So hyperlink everything back to your original source, back to your blog. Secondly, you could actually just sell the PDF, monetize it, put a dollar figure on it, and sell it to people. But that's now depending on how much you're hot propping. And thirdly, you can trade it in for email addresses and create a mailing list. So basically what we're doing here is that you're going to put it on your site and you're going to ask people to download it for free. They just need to hand over their email to you so that you can send them a link where they can download the PDF. So you're basically creating a downloadable asset that people can take with them home, read in their spare time. And in the future, you can now use this mailing list to send out newsletters, which is the 5th and last thing that we're going to talk about, newsletters. Now with newsletters, you're going to need to make sure that you make it as relevant and evergreen as possible. So you're taking all of your content that you currently have that's probably relevant to any particular time, maybe follows a certain trend, maybe follows a certain holiday or day of the week or day of the month that's coming about, or just generally evergreen content that you have on your blog that's sitting around that you haven't used too well or that you haven't utilized. That's now what you're going to repackage and send out to your community so that it comes back to your site. Then on top of it, start offering more exclusive content. So maybe instead of producing 5 blog posts that you're going to put out on your blog, you're now producing 4 blog posts, and the 5th one you're only going to offer towards your newsletter. Works that way. So you're producing nice exclusive content for your people. Also, because now you have a mailing list that's now growing, depending on how big it is or how big you make it, you can now use this to actually go out and look for partnerships. You can look for sponsorships. So you can now use this mailing list as a platform for you to actually monetize. So this is actually a nice way as well for you to repurpose the existing content that you've already made. Either use the PDF or any of the other pieces of content that we made to ask people to submit their emails so that you can send them a newsletter once or twice every week, once or twice every month, and make sure that it always has good, relevant content and good content that's actually going to be exclusive just to them. So I want you to take this, go out there and go do some epic shit.